I'm Sally Kohn with the Women's Media Center here with...
Aliya Rahman of the Center for Community Change.
And tell us what you do at the Center for Community Change.
So I am an organizer working with the Movement Building Project, which is about building power in states and working with folks who are not affiliated with other community organizations to try and create progressive change towards economic justice.
And you're in Ohio. What's going on in Ohio? Come a little closer toward me here. Don't run away. I'm not going to bite. Talk about what's been happening in Ohio, particularly with teachers and particularly as it affects women in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, so Ohio in general has seen just a total onslaught of conservative legislation with respect to voter suppression, with respect to anti-union stuff, all sorts of things. The really, really big issue on the table right now is Issue 2, which is our wonderful anti-collective bargaining bill. Senate Bill 5 is what it was known as before it made it onto the ballot as Issue 2. And as far as women's issues are concerned, this is a big deal for anyone who considers themselves to be any sort of feminist. Because we know that many of the protections that exist for women in the workplace have come to us through collective bargaining, through unions. Second, this is an attack on public workers. That is a sector of the labor force that is largely women. But most importantly, this is about movement building, right? So this election on November 8th in Ohio presents an opportunity for the entire country to throw some effort into this state and try and win something and show that people's movements really do matter and that that we can make things happen, right? So the folks who are running that campaign, the We Are Ohio campaign to repeal Senate Bill 5, rolled 1.3 million signatures down the street in Columbus, to show that this
rolled them down the street
in a semi-truck, right? They needed a truck to deliver those petitions. This is something that the people do not agree with, right? Recently, I've spent some time hanging out inside Tea Party events and AFP things, and we're seeing that a lot of conservative groups are throwing down tons of money, people, infrastructure in Ohio. They have really turned their laser beams on the state because they realize their message is not strong and that now they're trying to sort of, beat us on money to confuse people. But while we might...
But you're going to win.
Yeah, we may not be able to beat them on money, but we can beat them in terms of people, spirit, soul, and we have a better message that's really about, a state that's about people and for people. So we really need folks to help us. Come to Ohio.
If people want to get involved, how can they get involved?
So they can go to weareohio.com/goohio. And there's a number of opportunities there for phone banking, coming to Ohio for GOTV. We really need folks to help us out, to come to the state, to call from where you are, anything that you can do to try and show folks that this is something that people do not want to happen and to pave the way for 2012, to try and erode some of the support that we've seen for conservatives who do not have the people's interest in mind.
Fight for America. Okay. Speaking of interest, that was a weird segue. You're going to pick a grab bag question, Aliya. You're going to pick it, you're going to read it to the folks at home, and you're going to answer it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Pick a good one.
Is it easier to be a conservative woman or a liberal woman? I grew up in a very, very, very conservative family, right? My mother's family is, white farmers from Wisconsin. They voted Republican the whole time I was growing up. Very conservative Muslim family on the other side. I actually grew up in Bangladesh, but now I hang with a lot of liberals. And I would say that it is a challenge to be a woman in any sphere. We have a lot of work to do.
You want a third option there?
So I think that it presents different challenges, right? But I think that a lot is demanded of us in the progressive movement when we are women. We're called upon to speak here, in things like this. We have to do a lot of things. We have to really put our bodies out there all the time in ways that I think may not sort of be demanded of conservatives.
Aliya, thanks for the work you're doing and thanks for talking with me.
Thank you.